What's up, y'all? So today is September 1st. Ooh. And what that means is the first, well, like the end, well, it's technically the end of the first week of school here in Baltimore. And I made it. I made it. I made it. Y'all made it. With no injuries, no bad report or anything. But I just want to talk for a second. I just want to talk for a second. So I go with the day Friday, maybe Wednesday. I went to school or whatever, right? To drop casing off. And my homegirl, like one of the little mommies that I talk to, when I'm going to the school or whatever. She like, girl, I met your sister. I said, you did? I said, how crazy is? Like, just joking it off, like, how crazy is? She was like, yeah, girl. She was in a cafeteria and she was telling the people about the story that was going on with your sister or whatever. I said, what she say? She said, girl, she in there telling everybody that you and her stopped speaking because you made a post on social media. I said, that's a lie. Did I eventually make a post on social media? I did. Because at the end of the day, that's how I get paid, off of social media. And I wanted other people input on it or whatever, right? So, she like, and then she telling people that you called da 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 da, the da 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 da. I said, who, me? I said, I don't even live that type of life, right? I said, now you been a friend and you knowing me. I don't know. I guess she knew me probably for 2 years. This is technically the third year because she met me when Kason first went to pre-K or whatever. I don't live that type of life. I don't live that type of life. I'm a calm, collective person, right? She was like, and I wanted to. She was like, I wanted to jump in the conversation. I said, well, you being my friend, you should always have my back. Be like, Cindy do that. She was like, I don't know if she said she told her who she was and if she knew me, right? She was like, but I wanted to be like, Cindy is not like that. I was like, Cindy. I said, move. I said, my name ain't no Cindy. My name is Cinder. She's like, I've been calling you Cindy all this time. I said, everybody call me Cindy, but my name is Cinder with an A, not the Y. So then I had brought Kason home, and I normally don't bring him home because my sister be having my nephew outside, and I just be looking like I don't want the issue, I don't want the issue. So I just be like, let me just keep Kason away from the situation because one, Kason is very friendly and Kason wants to speak. But I was just like, Kason, she might not let y'all play. And this has been going on since April. So April, May, June, July, August, September. 5 months. Okay? So, I think it was the same day, right? Yeah, I think it happened on Wednesday. So Kason was outside and Kason seen the maintenance man, right? The maintenance man who came and fixed my hot water heater or whatever. So Kason was like, so the maintenance man was like where the trash cans at or where the steps at. And like 2 houses past it was my nephew and my sister. Well, let me just say my nephew and the girl. We're gonna call her the girl now. So anyway, Kason was like, hi. My nephew gonna say, Kason, I can't speak to you. Uh-huh. I'm like, okay. And I'm just looking like, it's getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. I'm looking like, I'm just ready to move. Everybody had asked me, did I lose my apartment? We ain't go to court yet, so I don't know what it is. And everybody's just like, forgive her, forgive her. I said, why am I forgiving this bitch when she keep lying on me? I said, me personally, like, I just want to say, me personally, the worst thing that you can ever do to me is lie on me. Like, I had posted a status, and I was like, I need some friends that even if you're not there at the situation, but somebody told you about the situation, right? And they say something that you know that I most likely didn't do. I want you like shit. Something ain't do that. So I had told my my baby mama, my baby mama's day day, right? And I was telling her the situation, right? And she was like, "What?" She like, "Sandra, you ain't do that." She like, "You're not even that type of person. You going to cut a mother off before the situation get to that." I said, "Right." I said, "It's just so crazy." And I'm looking like everybody is looking at me like you're the older sister, so you supposed to fix it. I said, "How can I fix something, right? When it's lie after lie after lie." I said, "It should not have even been this bad, right?" Move clumsy. It shouldn't have gotten to this point, right? It shouldn't have gotten to this point. I said, but when I think I told you about this situation, all that happened, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you everything that happened. So on the 27th of April, right? I noticed that my sister wasn't speaking to me. I kind of noticed probably like a month before then my sister wasn't speaking to me. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So then like my brother came here and she spoke to my brother but didn't speak to me. So I'm like, okay. So I had, I don't remember when this happened, but one day I had picked Kason up from school, right? And when I picked Kason up from school at 5:15, because that's what time Kason get out of school during when what is it called? Springboard is going on, right? So I'm picking Kason up and my little cousin is still there. School get out at 4 o'clock, right? So my little cousin run up to me and crying. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I'm ready to go home." So I was like, "Okay, well, let me call this sister because I think I told you I'm very awkward. I don't like to talk to people. Even though she's my cousin's baby mama, I'm awkward. Like we never really had like no conversation. I say hi, bye, but that's it. So I called my sister. I was like, blank, blank, blank is crying. Ask her mother what she want me to do. So she was like, the mother said to bring them around her house. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm trying to get Kason in my house to feed him. But because his cousins is here, Kason is the only child. He wants to play with his cousins, even though he's hungry. I know he's hungry, right? So he's still down there trying to play with his cousins. And me, I don't know if I ever told y'all this, but I'm quite sure I did. I don't like Kason with my sister by himself. See what? I don't like Kason with my sister by himself. That's honest to God truth. She is not like me. She's not like my other siblings. And that sounds real bad, but she's just not. So instead of leaving Kason down there and playing and coming home to cook Kason something, I had told my sister, I said, "Yo, they hungry." Meaning not one, not two, but all of the kids was hungry, right? Because they just got out of school, and I think lunch was around like 12 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock now, right? So I'm like, "Do you want me to feed them?" Because their dad was a Muslim, so most likely they couldn't eat pork. So she's like, "No, I'm gonna feed everybody," right? She fed her two kids. She fed my cousin's two kids, and then the their sister. But that wasn't whatever. But at the end of the day, she's still family, right? So everybody eating on the stick, eating a sausage on the stick, besides Kason. So Kason was like, "Aunt blank blank blank, can I have one?" She gonna say, "No, Kason, I need the rest of them to last for the rest of the month." I said, "Okay." That was a little issue for me, right? A little issue for me. But I didn't say nothing because normally I would have just like, why you feed everybody else besides Kason? I waited. I ended up bringing Kason. I don't know, Kason. You know what? Kason stayed out, and I came in the house and I cooked Kason chicken nuggets or chicken tenders and some tater tots because that's what Kason like. And then I'm telling Kason to come home and eat. He like, "No, mommy, I want to stay outside to play." I'm like, "Okay." So I took the food that I cooked and it was in a red bowl, and I took it to my sister's house. I said to my niece, I said, whenever all the other kids eat, give Kason this, right? Because my sister was also feeding him something else, right? But because she made the statement where she didn't want to feed him the first time, let me just make something for my baby to eat. But he still wanted to be with his cousins, right? So I don't know, was it that day or previous before that day? My son and my nephew was playing, and my nephew hit my son. My son hit my nephew back. So I don't like my son fighting. I don't like fighting. I just don't, y'all can wrestle, but don't fight like when y'all get upset and be wanting to hurt each other. So, I'm like, stop fighting, stop hitting, da 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 da. So my sister gonna tell my son, cause my nephew hit my son, and my son hit him back. She would say, stop fucking hitting him. But I think I don't know what she was saying to her son, because she did say something to her son, but I focused on her saying, "Stop fucking hitting my son." To Casey, he's 6 years old, and he's not your child. The same treatment that you give your child, you give Casey, because that's just fair, or whatever. So then I remember one day I was talking to my neighbor. I was like, I cannot wait till this lawsuit closes so I can basically get me a car, right? And my sister was right here when I was talking to my neighbor. But I wasn't talking to my sister. I was talking to the neighbor. She gonna say, don't you owe me some money? And I'm looking like, this, first and foremost, that's not the place, this not the time to even say that if I owe you money. This lady don't have nothing to do with our conversation, what our family business. It's none of your business. It's whatever. I'm like, girl, I don't owe you shit. Right? She like, and then she was like, oh, you used to do this for my daughter. You used to do this for my daughter. You used to do this. You used to take me places. Baby, don't clock that off. I got your whole house. Nothing that I ever owed you, nothing that I ever owed you, in which I didn't owe you anything, compared to me getting you a house because where you was living at. So I'm just looking like, everybody like, oh, send a forgive her, forgive her. I'm like, I can't forgive this damn girl. Oh, look, it's messing up. Why you want me messing up? That's why I like to come pre-recorded. I'm gonna give it a second. Let me see what else happened. I can't talk. Why is it like this? I can't.